I'm Alessandra with RevZilla, and welcome to the best street and cafe gear for 2019. Street and cafe riders really appreciate high quality design, performance, and of course a very distinctive style. If that's you, you want gear that's as classic as your ride but protects you in a really modern way. So regardless of whether you're commuting or going for weekend rides, there are so many options out there that are really going to balance quality, protection, and of course heritage style. Today we're going to look at two distinct collections for each rider type and help you make the right gear decision for you. So let's get started. Our first rider is a modern classic, and they're on a BMW R19 Pure. If that's you, you again really value high quality design, superior performance, and you want it in a classic streamlined package. And you should expect the same from your gear. But there are other considerations to take into account, like everyday wearability, or what I like to call an on and off the bike look that will last for years to come. So let's get into our first product. This is the Bell Eliminator helmet. Now we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Bell Eliminator because it's literally designed for you modern classic riders. At first glance, it looks like a modern take on a classic auto racing style, right? But if you look a little bit further, you'll notice that it has really clean lines and really gives you that retro twist. The other thing to note is that it has these vents at the top that are really distinctive and reminiscent of the $1,200 Ruby that's been really popular in Europe. The other thing that we really like about it outside of style is going to be the fact that they turned up the notch a little bit on the feature set for this helmet. So one thing to mention is this dual pane shield. This is really good at keeping fog out, whether you're commuting or whether you're doing weekend rides and hitting unexpected weather. But what's really impressive about this helmet overall is the weight. It comes in at 2 pounds and 13 ounces and has 3 shell sizes. So that's really impressive and something that you don't see in this category. So all in all, it's a fresh take on a retro look, which is really what the modern classic category is all about. So next up, let's talk about jackets. This is the Alpinestars Warhorse leather jacket, and we chose it because it perfectly marries protection and subtle yet distinctive style. Now, the first thing that you'll notice about this jacket is going to be the finish. This is a 1.3mm buffalo nubuck, and it has a super soft feel to it, but it's still really durable, perfectly masking the CE-rated elbow and shoulder armor that's underneath. It's the perfect on and off the bike jacket, and it really just can integrate very seamlessly into your everyday life. Now, speaking of things that integrate seamlessly, let's talk about the Rokker Urban Racer boots. These have that classic everyday heritage style. You might even have a pair of boots already that look just like these, but don't quite give you the confidence to get on your bike and ride. What we also like about these is that they have protection baked in, and they also have a nice reinforced Vibram sole, so they really get you comfortable on your bike. Beyond that though, they boast a lot of quality. They're handmade in Portugal, and the leather on the outside is nice and durable, while the leather on the inside is soft and plush so that you really feel that quality as you're putting them on and off. What I like best though is going to be the fact that no matter what colorway you get, they patina over time, so they really tell a story. They're going to share those experiences the more that you wear them. So I think that's really special, right? You can look at these boots and say, hey, I took them there. These are our picks for the modern classic category. We hope that we've really helped you demystify what to look for. So hopefully that helps you narrow down your choices so that you can make that right decision for you. Our next category is the cafe style rider, and they're on a Triumph Thruxton. If that's you, you probably do some commuting, maybe some weekend rides, but you do it in style. Now, speaking of style, cafe bikes have a really distinctive look to them, but performance is not lost on their owners, and neither should performance be lost on you when you're looking at gear. Gone are the days where you really have to look to a vintage shot or Levi's to give you that authentic cafe look. So today what we're going to do is look at a few products that pay homage to that cafe style while also baking a ton of protection in. So first up, we're going to talk about this helmet. This is the AGV X3000 Helmet. Now, if it looks familiar, it's because it's what you think of when you think of a vintage helmet, right? The classic style and lines. And if you're not familiar, this helmet is pretty distinctive because it's a redesign, completely updated to meet standard DOT regulations of what Giacomo Agostini wore during his racing career. But as they say, the devil's in the details. So little things like, take for example, the chin bar. It's contoured in the same way that Ago's was so that you can really get the thrill goal of getting your chin on the tank. In addition to that, there are also just a ton of graphics, right? So AGV with this helmet is really hitting the nail on the head in terms of nostalgia and bringing you back to what you thought of when you first got into bikes. So next up, let's talk about jackets. So this is a Spidi metal jacket, and if you're looking at this jacket, it's probably because you want that Italian quality design, but you want it in that British cafe package with the styling from the 60s and 70s. But what's also nice about this jacket is that it's fairly unique in its design. So first things first, the construction is going to be a 1mm goat instead of cowhide. And what that means is that it's going to be a lot less structured and more supple than its leather counterparts. And that means that it's going to break in a little bit better over time and really give you a nice feel the more that you wear it. But what I also like is that Spidi incorporated their Warrior Light Armor. Now the Warrior Light Armor is going to be more flexible and lightweight so that you can really focus more on your ride and less on the fit. Now speaking of fit, that's the other thing that's kind of unique about this jacket. A lot of the jackets out there that have this classic vintage styling are really boxy. They kind of have just like an American cut. Being that Spidi is a European Italian manufacturer, this has more of a Euro cut. So you're really going to get more of that sleek design with this classic cafe feel. Now speaking of classic, we're going to have a look at the Rev'IT Lombard 2s. Now jeans are really important because they give you a lot more coverage, and the reason we chose jeans as opposed to regular pants is because they are really a little bit more seamlessly integrated into your everyday life. Now when it comes to the Lombard 2s, they're the 2s because they're the second iteration, because they've been a really popular rider favorite for years. And part of the reason for that is because they look like regular jeans. When you're looking at these between the wash and the cut, they look like a normal jean. The only thing that gives them away is the reflective at the bottom, which again is there for safety. Now speaking of protection, that's the other thing that really make these stand apart, right? You have a jean that doesn't look like a moto jean, but it has a lot of protection baked in. So the main construction is going to be Cordura, which feels like a jean but gives you abrasion resistant elements, and then it's also going to have Power Shield in the impact areas, which is giving you 6 seconds of slide time. 6 seconds of slide time in a jean is pretty impressive, and even more so when you factor in the armor that comes at the knees and the option to add it at the hips. So all in all, from Rev'IT, a really solid option if you're going for that everyday look, but protection is still really important. So those are our picks for street and cafe styles for 2019. Hopefully we helped you demystify what you're looking for and highlighted the nuances between legacy design and classic styling with protection. Either way though, no matter what you're looking at, you're probably going to be covered for that everyday styling. If you want to learn more about any of the selections in our 2019 Gear Guide series, head over to RevZilla.com for more videos, articles, and our expert opinion on everything moto. Thanks for taking a look at the best street and cafe gear for 2019. I'm Alessandra. I'll see you on the road.